She called me at 3:22 a.m. yelling, "My friend ditched me. Send $150 for a ride, or I'm stuck here." I replied, "Figure it out." I muted my phone and went right back to sleep. At 9 a.m., I woke up to a message from an officer saying, "We need to confirm something about last night." And my heart stopped for a second. I'm 29, and I've been dating Jess for about 14 months. When we first got together, she seemed independent and fun. She had her own friend group, her own life, and I respected that. But over the past few months, something changed. She started treating me less like a boyfriend and more like an ATM with a pulse. It started small. "Can you grab dinner?" I forgot my wallet. Then it became, "Can you cover my half of rent this month?" I had unexpected expenses. Those unexpected expenses were usually concert tickets, new clothes, or bottles at clubs with her friends. I'm not rich, but I make decent money in project management, and I didn't mind helping out occasionally. The problem was occasionally became constantly. The night everything blew up was a Friday. Jess had told me earlier in the week that she was going out with her friend group, 3 girls she'd known since college. I said, "Fine, have fun, be safe." She left our apartment around 9 p.m. wearing a dress I'd never seen before. I didn't ask how much it cost. I was learning to pick my battles. I went to bed around midnight after watching a movie and catching up on work emails. My phone was on my nightstand, volume low but not off, just in case of emergencies. At 3:22 a.m., my phone started vibrating violently. I grabbed it, half asleep, and saw Jess's name. I answered. "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" Her voice was shrill, clearly drunk. "My friend ditched me. She was supposed to give me a ride home, and she just left with some guy. I'm stuck at this club downtown, and I need you to send me $150 for a rideshare right now." I sat up, rubbing my eyes. "What happened to your other friends? They all left already. Just send me the money." "Jess, you have your own money. Use your card." "My card isn't working. The transaction won't go through. I need you to send it now, or I'm literally stuck here." I looked at the time again. 3:22 a.m. I thought about all the times I'd covered for her. All the times she'd forgotten her wallet or had unexpected expenses. I thought about the new dress she'd worn out tonight that probably cost $200. "Figure it out," I said. "Excuse me." "You heard me. Figure it out. You're an adult. You have a phone, you have apps, you have friends. Figure it out." "Are you serious right now?" "I'm stranded." "You're not stranded. You're drunk and you want me to bail you out." "Again. Not happening. You're such an asshole. What kind of boyfriend?" I hung up. My phone immediately started ringing again. I muted it, put it face down on the nightstand, and went back to sleep. When I woke up at 9 a.m., I had 47 missed calls and about 30 text messages. Most were from Jess, getting progressively more angry and incoherent as the night went on. But one message, timestamped at 8:47 a.m., made my stomach drop. It was from an unknown number. "This is Officer Rodriguez with the downtown precinct. We need to confirm something about last night. Please call this number at your earliest convenience." My heart stopped for a second. I sat up in bed, fully awake now, my mind racing through worst-case scenarios. Had something happened to Jess? Was she hurt? Arrested? Dead? I called the number immediately. "Downtown precinct, Officer Rodriguez speaking. Hi, this is... I got a message from this number about last night." "Yes, thank you for calling back. I'm calling regarding an incident involving Jessica Chun. You're listed as her emergency contact. Can you confirm your relationship to her?" "I'm her boyfriend." "What happened? Is she okay?" "She's fine, physically. She was brought in around 4:30 a.m. She's being released shortly, but we need someone to pick her up. She's been calling you repeatedly, but says you're not answering." I felt a wave of relief, followed immediately by anger. What was she brought in for? There was a pause. Public intoxication and disorderly conduct. She was escorted out of a downtown club and became aggressive with security staff. No charges are being filed, but she needs to be picked up. I sat there in my bed, staring at the wall. "I'll be there in 45 minutes. I hung up, got dressed, and drove downtown in silence. The whole time, I was processing what had happened. She'd gotten so drunk and out of control that she'd been arrested. And her first instinct was to call me for money, not help. Update 1. I arrived at the precinct around 10 a.m. The officer at the front desk directed me to a waiting area. 10 minutes later, Jess walked out with another officer. She looked terrible, smudged makeup, hair a mess, the expensive dress wrinkled and stained. She saw me and her face immediately twisted into anger. "Where the hell were you?" she hissed as we walked to my car. "I was asleep. Like normal people are at 3 a.m. I called you 50 times. I know. I saw. We got in the car. I started driving." She was quiet for about 30 seconds, then exploded. "I can't believe you didn't send me the money. Do you know what I went through? I was stuck outside that club for an hour. It was freezing. And then security tried to make me leave, and I told them I was waiting for my ride, and they got aggressive with me. And then the cops showed up and, Jess, and they put me in a cop car like I was some kind of criminal. All because you couldn't send me $150. Jess, what? You weren't arrested because I didn't send you money. You were arrested because you got belligerently drunk and aggressive with security. That's not what happened. That's what the officer told me." She crossed her arms and stared out the window. "You weren't there. You don't know." We drove in silence for a few minutes. Then I asked the question I'd been holding back. "Why didn't your card work?" "What? You said your card wasn't working." "What?" She didn't answer immediately. "I don't know. It just declined." "When's the last time you checked your balance?" "I don't. That's none of your business." "It became my business when you called me at 3 a.m. demanding money." More silence. Then, quietly, "I'm maxed out." I looked at her. "What?" "My credit cards. They're maxed out. And my checking account is overdrawn." I pulled over into a parking lot and put the car in park. "How much? Does it matter?" "Yes, it matters." "How much?" She stared at her lap. $8,000 in credit card debt. About $300 overdrawn in checking. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. $8,000? How? It just adds up. Rent, food, going out, clothes. I pay half your rent. I buy most of our food. What did you spend $8,000 on? She didn't answer. She didn't have to. I already knew. Clubs, clothes, bottles, concert tickets. All the things she'd been doing with her friends while I covered the basics. "You've been using me," I said slowly. "That's not fair." "It's completely fair. I've been covering your expenses for months while you blow through your own money partying. And then when you get into trouble, you expect me to bail you out. Literally. So what? You're just going to abandon me." "I didn't abandon you. I told you to figure it out. You're 27 years old, Jess. You should be able to handle yourself for a few hours without calling your boyfriend for money." She started crying. Not the genuine, hurt crying. The manipulative crying she used when she wanted something. I'd seen it before. "Can we just go home?" she asked. I started the car and drove us back to the apartment without another word. Update 2. We got home around 11 a.m. Jess immediately went to the bedroom and slammed the door. I sat on the couch and just processed. The past 14 months played through my head like a highlight reel, but all the highlights were red flags I'd ignored. Around 2 p.m., she emerged from the bedroom, showered and changed, looking more like herself. "We need to talk," she said. "Okay." She sat across from me on the other end of the couch. "I think you overreacted last night." I laughed. Actually laughed. "I overreacted?" "Yes. I was in trouble and you just ignored me. What if something bad had happened? Something bad did happen. You got arrested. Detained. Not arrested. There's a difference." "Not really. Not to me." She sighed dramatically. "Look, I'm sorry I called you so many times. I was panicking, but you could have at least answered to make sure I was safe. You weren't calling to check in. You were calling for money. There's a difference." She threw her hands up. "Oh my God, you're still on this money thing? Fine. I'll pay you back." "With what money, Jess?" "You're $8,000 in debt. I'll figure it out." "When? How?" She didn't have an answer. We sat in silence for a long moment. Then I said what I'd been thinking since I picked her up. "I think you should move out." Her head snapped up. "What?" "I think we need to break up. And you should move out." "You're breaking up with me because of one night?" "I'm breaking up with you because of 14 months of you treating me like a bank account instead of a partner. Last night was just the final straw. That's not fair. I do things for you too." "Like what?" She opened her mouth, then closed it. Opened it again. I make you dinner sometimes. I buy the groceries for those dinners." "Try again." "I'm here for you emotionally." "Are you?" "Because every conversation we have lately is about what you need, what you want, what I can do for you. When's the last time you asked about my day, my work, my feelings?" She stood up, tears forming again. "I can't believe you're doing this. After everything we've been through." Everything we've been through? Or everything I've paid for? That hit her. I could see it in her face. She grabbed her purse and her keys. I'm going to stay with my friend tonight. We'll talk about this when you've calmed down. There's nothing to talk about. I want you moved out by the end of the month. She stared at me for a long moment, then left without another word. Update 3. She didn't come back that night. Or the next night. On Monday, she texted me. I need time to think. I responded, take all the time you need. But you're still moving out. Over the next week, her friends started texting me. Apparently, she'd told them her version of events, that I'd abandoned her in a dangerous situation and was now kicking her out over nothing. 3 different people called me an asshole. 1 threatened to come talk to me in person. I blocked them all. The following Saturday, Jess showed up with 2 of her friends to get her stuff. I wasn't home. I'd deliberately gone to my brother's place for the day to avoid drama. She took her clothes, her bathroom stuff, some kitchen items she claimed were hers. They weren't, and left her key on the counter. She also left a note. You'll regret this. I was the best thing that ever happened to you. I crumpled it up and threw it away. 2 days later, I got a call from a mutual friend, someone who was neutral in all this. She said Jess had been posting on social media about what a terrible person I was, how I'd abandoned her in her time of need, how she'd dodged a bullet by finding out my true colors. I didn't respond to any of it. Didn't post my side. Didn't defend myself. The people who knew me knew the truth. Everyone else could think what they wanted. About a week after that, I got a text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Taylor. I'm one of Jess's friends. I wanted to apologize. She told us you abandoned her, but I heard what actually happened from the security guard at the club. You were right to let her handle it. She's been using people for years. I should have said something sooner. I appreciated that. I responded, thanks for reaching out. I hope she gets help. I meant it. I wasn't angry at Jess anymore. I was just done. Final update. It's been 3 months since the breakup. I'm doing well. Really well, actually. I got a promotion at work, started going to the gym regularly, and even went on a few dates. Nothing serious yet, but I'm not rushing. I heard through the grapevine that Jess moved back in with her parents to deal with her debt. Apparently, her dad made her cut up her credit cards and put her on a strict budget. She deleted all her social media for a while, then came back with a new me rebrand that lasted about 2 weeks before she was back to posting club photos. One of her friends reached out to me last month asking if I'd consider talking to Jess about getting back together. I declined, politely but firmly. That chapter is closed. The apartment is quieter now. I bought a new couch, one that's actually comfortable, that I picked out myself without someone complaining about the color or the price. I started cooking more, reading more, sleeping better. I don't regret telling her to figure it out that night. I don't regret breaking up with her. I only regret not doing it sooner. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. Sometimes you have to take it out yourself. Either way, once it's gone, you realize how much lighter everything feels. Edit. A lot of people have asked if she ever paid me back for anything. She didn't, and I don't expect her to. I considered it an expensive lesson in recognizing red flags early. Edit 2. Someone asked about the charges. From what I understand, she wasn't formally charged with anything because it was her first offense and she cooperated, eventually. But it's on record as a police incident, which apparently can show up on certain background checks.